Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Society of Milwaukee. I'm Reverend Jennifer Nordstrom. My pronouns are she and her. Honored to serve this congregation as your senior minister. Our opening words this morning are the poem A Great Wild Goodness by Annie Lightheart. One morning I was looking out the window when a great wild goodness came over me. I wanted to be kind to everything. I promised not to kill the big spider on the wall. In the cold, I took the dog for a long walk that she'd been wanting. I fetched a trash can lid for an ornery neighbor and did not, just then, add a single adjective to his name. I went back inside to the laundry and dishes with a clean heart such as I had never had. Before dinner, the wild goodness shouted, too tame, so I went outside without my coat and shouted poems up to the stars until my children came home with their small, warm hands. Then we ate bread in the kitchen, unafraid to be happy. The stars in wild darkness were right over our heads. Will you please rise and body your spirit for our opening hymn number 6 in the gray hymnal, Just as Long as I Have Breath. You may be seated, except for Adam and Jessica Zager, who are coming up for our closing pledge drive testimonial.
So this is the last one, as you just heard. I've been honored to be trusted as your stewardship team leader these past couple of years. If you're confused, we used to call ourselves the pledge team. Now we're the stewardship team by unanimous vote of our team. As I've said before, as uncomfortable as I am talking about money and asking for donations, my involvement in these pledge seasons has shown me that we all attach tremendous importance to being a part of this community, and that we also understand that First Church needs money to exist and to thrive. Aside from being known as the couple with the biggest height difference in the church, maybe the county, we also have a unique distinction of appearing on the membership roll twice. We first joined First Church in 2010, and then we moved away for Jessica's job. Search as we might, we could not find a community or a spiritual home like we all have here at First Church. Although we spent over a decade living in Kansas City, to Jessica and I, Milwaukee has always been home, and First Church is a significant reason for that. As fellow members, we are also Pledge Drive participants, and that is why we join you today. A lot of places need our support right now, and it's hard to not be able to fund every worthy cause. However, for us, as a family, we try to put our money where our values are. For our family, no institution embodies our values better than First Church. Not only does First Church embody our values, but it helps shape our values, helping to guide us in these scary and I guess even scarier times than when I wrote this speech, which are hopefully short-lived, and in the happier, less threatening times. We, with our kids, watch what's going on in the world and often feel conflicted that the work required by our daily lives doesn't allow us to do more to fight the growing threat of fascism and all that comes with it. However, we are proud to support First Church, our members, and our ministers who can be on the front lines of local and national protests and who have and will continue to step forward to show up for our democracy.
We're not going to go back and forth too much for the sake of the microphone. Hi, I am Jessica Zeiger. A lot of you don't know that because, well, I work a lot. And a significant amount of that time is dedicated to paving a way for and empowering other women struggling to thrive in a sometimes excruciatingly white male-dominated profession. So honestly, it brings me some delight that I get to walk around here and proudly introduce myself instead as Adam's wife, and know that this label can be viewed in light of my pride for his role in this community, and a slight nod to how blessed we feel to have gotten married here by Reverend Drew 15 years ago, almost to the day. And also still be, without having that diminish my individual value. In that environment, we particularly value for our two daughters. As you all know, First Church is more than a worthy cause because it's a community, a support system, and a spiritual home. A space that today our girls might just walk around and hang out with their friends, but knowing that tomorrow this building or any single individual in it could be a refuge for them. So we come here as a family to celebrate, to reflect, to further educate our daughters and their peers about the world and themselves. We come here to meet and learn from like-minded people and connect with those who share our values and try to live with them. We come here to help fill up our wellspring of resilience, and as Reverend Chris so helpfully and eloquently reminded us last week, that it's okay to not always be resilient. This is our spiritual home. We give to continue building our community with you all, not just giving to another cause.
So here's a list of why we give. It's not quite the top 10 that we did for RE Sunday last year, but you know, as Jessica said, we were blessed to be married in this sanctuary. Helping to keep the lights on here means something to us. We watch our daughters feel at home, creating those lasting relationships Jessica described, or striding down the aisles or up and around the stairs, just feeling comfortable, presenting as the Oak King or whatever else we're going to see next week. And we are proud to contribute to the faith formation team so the next generation can continue to grow in their bodies and in the world, and help us continue to grow in ourselves as well. We come here every Christmas Eve and understand that our contributions help support the music and the candles that make us cry the good kind of tears every year. These programs that give our family and yours so much obviously cost money. So here I am back as the stewardship team leader. A few weeks ago, I said the goal for this year's pledge drive was to raise $1 million. to fully fund our shared work. That was at the start of the pledge drive. Now we're at the end. As they say, $1 million is a lot of money. So where are we at right now? Well, we have 183 pledges that have already come in, thus far totaling over $591,000. So obviously we still have a ways to go, but I have some great news. 183 pledges is about half of our pledging households. So if you're like me and like to do things at the last minute, we're almost there, so good for you. For those of you who are waiting because you wanted to double your pledge and you didn't know if that was allowed, it is. We already have about 8 households, or no, not about. We have 8 households who have more than doubled their pledge. So please consider pledging today. Obviously, donations are welcome anytime, but if you pledge today, that will significantly help our finance committee be prepared to budget for the 2026-2027 church year. And as you all know, we have a lot of work to budget for. So if you haven't made your pledge yet and would like to discuss how to do that or any logistics, please check us out at Coffee Hour, and we do have cake.
Thank you, Adam and Jessica. I want to invite you all into a time of contemplation now, which will be followed by silence, followed by the seated singing of hymn 123, Spirit of Life. So just take a moment, find yourself in your body, however you do that. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe you breathe deep into your belly. Maybe you feel the air against your skin. Come into being here now. Spirit of life and love, Holy One of our being and our becoming, that which is sacred within, among, and beyond us. May we pay attention today to all the beauties, small and large, that make up reality. Those warm hands holding ours, the stars above us in their mystery, the art and music and sun that glitter all around. May we pay attention to what matters most, to love, to the relationships between us, to the gentle beating hearts of humanity. Life, we pray today, especially for those who are in greater danger today than they were yesterday. To the children who are being sent to war or who are already there. To the children being bombed. To the people who have no say in the decisions of nations, but whose lives are under threat nonetheless. Holy One, we pray for those under threat as well from government oppression, those here in the United States being disappeared, immigrant families being torn apart, for trans people being systematically erased by government laws, especially those in Kansas. We send all these people our solidarity, our prayers, and our action. Holy love, let us be vehicles of love, loving our neighbors, our families, our own tender hearts, loving the whole and the holy of all that is. May we notice beauty and love today, that we might be moved to protect it. May it be so.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the First Unitarian Society of Milwaukee. I'm Alicia Altstetter, and I am pleased to serve as your worship associate. We are a faith community of many identities. We welcome people of all genders, sexualities, ages, races, ethnicities, histories, abilities, and bodies. We welcome your mind, your heart, and your spirit. We welcome all you are carrying with you today and all your heart longs to set down. We welcome all the people watching online as we live stream this service. Hello, online folks. We enthusiastically welcome guests joining us today. If you are a guest visiting in person and want to connect with us, please fill out a welcome card located in the pew rack in front of you and drop it in the offering plates that will come around in a few minutes. If you are visiting online and want to connect, a link to connect with us will soon appear in the chat for you to click on and fill out. Someone from church will reach out to connect with you. After the service, we invite you to join us for a social hour across the hall in the Leanhouse Common Room. Some accessibility notes. Hearing assist devices with large print hymnals and orders of service are at the back of the sanctuary, along with worship activity bags for children and anyone who wants them. There is a fragrance-free area in the front right pews. If you're watching online, you can enable YouTube's closed captioning on your viewing device. Applications to become a worship associate are open. Are you inspired by the stories you hear our WAs tell on Sundays? Are you excited about making meaning with other First Church members? Do you want to be part of creating our shared worship here? We are looking for committed church members who love making meaning and are comfortable with public speaking from diverse backgrounds and identities. Apply to be a worship associate by March 31st, and I can vouch, wonderful program. Join Immigrant Solidarity and Action with a critical reading of the book, This is an Uprising. While mass movements are often portrayed as spontaneous and unpredictable, this book explores the hidden art behind whirlwinds of protest, examining core principles that have been used to spark and guide moments of transformative unrest. We will be examining chapters 1 through 3 on Monday, March 2nd from 6 to 7:30 at First Church. All are welcome, even if you haven't yet done the readings. More information at the social justice table at coffee hour. I invite you to share in our First Church purpose by joining me in a unison affirmation of our mission, which is printed in your order of service. We gather to nurture the spirit, engage the mind, and inspire action. Every week, we practice our values through sharing our resources. Our pledges are at the core of our spiritual practice of generosity. In addition, the church shares half of all non-pledge cash in our offering plate with a community organization, practicing our value of interdependence. Today, we share the plate with Neighbors Helping Neighbors, providing food, clothing, and personal items and relief services for those in need. The offering will now be gratefully received as we sing seated, hymn I Am Listening, found in your order of service. I invite all children, youth, and faith formation volunteers to sing the first verse, then follow Rev Kimberly to the Leanhouse Common Room, and then downstairs for faith formation. If your child needs to check in, please join them. May the practice of giving bring us joy. My first son was born in April of 1999. I was 25 years old. I was too young to know what I didn't know, that life can be scary, and you need to be able to solidly rely on yourself and ideally have an inner circle of people to help you get through it. I was just hoping nothing bad would happen. However, complicating the already difficult time of having your first baby, when my son was born, he had an array of health issues. He was born jaundiced, very anemic, had Hutch diverticula of the bladder, food allergies, tachycardia, and heart issues. At one point, they even thought he might have cystic fibrosis. At this time in my life, I did not have the skills to think in a grounded, logical way and then seek out support. All I could do was panic. And panic I did. I couldn't eat. I stayed up most of the night watching every breath he took. I would finally pass out around 3 a.m. and then wake up terrified that he had stopped breathing. I spent my days crying. I had previously been someone who cared about animals and endangered species, but I remember clearly thinking I would have easily, personally strangled the life out of each endangered animal if it meant that my son would be okay. As you can imagine, I was not fun to be around at this time. And because I did not have friends that had kids yet, I turned toward my family. But just because you need help doesn't mean your family is in a position to provide that. Sometimes big feelings of fear and sadness are beyond the comfort level of the people closest to you. My family and partner did not want to discuss what was happening with my son or my feelings about it, not because they are bad people, but because my upset feelings upset them too much. But being alone was no picnic either. I was frantic for support and connection, so I tried desperately to be more how my family wanted me to be. I tried to stuff down my feelings and put on a strong face. Yet life continues to have ups and downs, especially with kids and especially when you are battling health issues. And as the years went on, my ability to deny my own feelings did not get easier with practice. The older I get, the harder it is to be someone else in order to protect the feelings of my parents and partner. So I started therapy, and I got lots of therapy. My therapist made it clear that changing who you are benefits no one, and that there are people who will accept you just as you are. I was skeptical, but I tried it. And she was right. When you stop pretending to be someone you are not, your own authenticity attracts people who get you. And I was so fortunate to find amazing friends, friends who hold space and are open and vulnerable and also seek connection. This transformation in my own thinking opened up a whole new world for me. I found love and acceptance, which is the best feeling in the world. And when I am with my friends, it fills my bucket, so I am more grounded and secure when I need to face my family. Also, it doesn't place undue burden on people who are unhealed from their own trauma so that they are unable to meet you in yours. Now, I am happy to report that this same son ended up absolutely thriving. He went on to be a wrestler in high school, and he then graduated with a chemistry degree from UW-Madison. He is engaged to be, there's more good news. He is engaged to be married next summer to a wonderful woman that I love dearly, and he is currently serving his country as captain in the Air Force. However, that means, unfortunately, that this week he did deploy to the areas in Iran. I don't know exactly where he is, but he is currently living in a tent in the desert. And this is stressful and worrying, but I am able to give support to him and his fiancée because my friends are giving support to me. And I feel like with my group of BFFs, I can sit and take anything that life throws at me. Don't give up. Your people are out there and they need you as much as you need them. Community is a beautiful thing. Thank you.
A Unitarian Universalist minister was walking a labyrinth recently when she heard the word behold. It surfaced in her mind again and again as she walked the winding way in and around and out. A few hours later that same day, she received some challenging feedback that included the same word, behold. So of course she felt a spiritual arrow drawing her attention to that message. The feedback that was shared with her was that this person saw a pattern that when this minister was feeling tired or frustrated, she started assuming things about other people and their experiences and their intentions. Particularly in conflict, she would make up stories about the other person, erasing them and putting her own assumptions on top of them, to the point where she couldn't see them clearly anymore. This person's advice to the minister was, stop doing that. And I think you need to just behold the people. See them as they are. Behold the people. See them as they are. Jewish philosopher Martin Buber calls this an I-thou relationship. The primary word, I-thou, can be spoken only with the whole being, writes Buber. Concentration and fusion into the whole being can never take place through my agency, nor can it ever take place without me. I become, through my relationship, to thou. As I say I also say thou. Here, Buber is claiming that consciousness, that the I, becomes only in relationship. It's not a solo act that can be separated from interaction. I only become I through understanding thou. He's also saying that in order to really see people clearly, behold the people, one has to be present fully in one's own being. Really seeing people clearly cannot be done through my agency, through erasing the people and putting a story of my own on top of them, imagining what they're doing, nor can the whole becoming happen without me. For the other way that we might miss each other, that we might lose the opportunity to really connect in an authentic way, is to erase the self. True meeting cannot take place if one of the parties is not there, either through erasing the other or through erasing the self. A friend of mine has a pattern in her life where her attunement to the world is so strong, the needs of other people are so blaring that she has trouble hearing her own needs. This happens in all of her relationships, but it is the most stark with her partner, of course. She reads his needs and attunes to them so much that she nearly erases her own. In conflict, she makes up in her own mind what a good compromise would be between his needs and her, like, far off, a little bit felt needs. And then she proposes it at the beginning of the discussion about the conflict. This is her partner's first hearing of it, so he hears the compromise as her need, rather than what she thinks a fair compromise between his needs and hers would be. And so they begin the discussion with him negotiating a compromise from the compromise. Since she had already separated herself so fully from her own needs, and she did all of this internal negotiation without him and without herself truly present. Surprisingly, this does not work. Real, authentic, healthy relationships need bi-directional attention. They need us to show up and pay attention to our own needs and to behold the other. Most of us have a habitual error of erasing one of those two directions when we're under stress or in conflict. Which one is your habitual error, dear ones? If we are going to heal and be fully present to one another and ourselves, we have to know which direction we go under stress in order to come back into bi-directional balance. For some of us, the motto that we must return to in spiritual practice is, "Do unto others as you would have done unto you." And for others of us, the motto that we need to return to in spiritual practice is, "Do unto yourself as you would do unto others." So, if you think about it, do you tend to erase yourself in conflict and tune into the well-being of the people around you, or do you tend to erase the other and make up stories about what might be true for them? For relationships to really work, you have to have bi-directional attention, the healthy, vibrant, fully present presence of two infinite beings. I have to be able to feel my needs fully and to be present to the truth of yours. In that meeting between two full infinities coming together and interacting, that is where the aliveness is. That is where the co-created reality of beauty and harmony can meet, because infinities get multiplied. And then we get the opportunity to explore the infinite world together. Martin Buber wrote, "All real living is meeting." In process theology, all of life is meeting. All of life is the coming together of different entities in process, interacting, and then becoming. And in every single interaction, in every meeting, every becoming, we are fundamentally changed. Every time we show up to one another and behold the infinite within and within the other, those two infinities meeting change each other in the constant becoming of life. For me, one of the most interesting and also challenging aspects of process theology, and I'm a process theologian, is that the smallest unit of being is not one entity, but the relationship between two entities. So in process theology, one entity by itself is not a unit of life. The smallest unit of life is the relationship between two entities. Now, I was raised here in the United States, so individualism, one entity, is deep, 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 deep in my consciousness. Even though I am committed to the value of interdependence, one of our core values in Unitarian Universalism, and even though I preach the truth of universal oneness, my mind defaults to the individual becoming rather than the collective becoming that I do know is true. When I practice returning my mind to the smallest unit of two, to the relationship that is the foundation of all existence, I feel reconnected, less alone, but also more alive, more creative, more hopeful, more connected to all that is. Buber writes, "The primary words are not isolated words, but combined words. The one primary combined word is I, thou. The other primary word is the combination I, it, wherein, without a change in the primary word, one of the words, he and she or they, can replace it. Hence, the I of a person is twofold, for the I of the primary word, I, thou, is different from the I of the primary word, I, it." So here, Buber is saying the smallest relationship is two, but that relationship can be an I-thou one, where I behold the people, or it can be an I-it relationship, where I erase the people and place my own agency, my own story on top of it, as though it is an object. Buber doesn't elaborate in this section, and usually he contrasts I, thou to I, it, the third option, where I disappear myself in order to serve you, but perhaps that was not Martin Buber's habitual error. In Universalism, we believe that every human being has inherent worthiness, inherent dignity. And so we practice a faith that is about I-thou relationships for everyone. No one is ever left out of that understanding that I am fully present in relationship with an infinite thou that I behold in relationship. In Universalism, we understand that real living can only take place in the meeting point of our temporarily fractured infinities. We're like a kaleidoscope that is simultaneously one thing and also 1,000 sparkling jewels tumbling one on top of another, reflecting the light in an ever unfolding, glimmering pattern. Our relationships form the smallest unit of our becoming, not individuals, relationships. And each relationship changes us as we change one another. Community, then, is the practice of multiple infinite beings becoming together. The complexity of infinities fully alive and unfolding and constantly changing one another, really witnessing each other. If you've ever been in a serious relationship, really witnessing another human being in an I-thou exchange while also being seen yourself is a miracle of aliveness. Multiplying that by the power of community creates a kaleidoscope of possibility and creativity, a place where we constantly become our best selves by changing through the multiple infinities around us. In spiritual community, one that practices, you don't have to be perfect in order to become, you just have to be present. Love in the context of community gives us the opportunity to really become our true selves, learning and growing constantly from the infinite thous that surround us. Practicing these I-thou relationships in the cradle of community, it strengthens our collective capacity to become and love one another in our multiple complicated truths. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. called love that force which all of the great religions have seen as the supreme unifying principle of life. Love is the key that unlocks the door which leads to ultimate reality. When we love one another, we behold the other while also showing up ourselves. And this gives us the opportunity to become what Dr. King called the beloved community, a vision of a community of mutual thriving in which all the beloveds are beheld in their truth, in their authenticity, and also encouraged to keep becoming as we change one another and grow. It begins with practicing bi-directional attention. I-thou relationships where I am fully present and I behold you. Those relationships make up the building blocks of reality. We come here to practice them. We come here to be held in all that we are holding. And we also come here to behold the beauty of one another. May we become infinitely together. May it be so. Dear ones, may we become together in this circle of love and justice. May we be able to be authentically ourselves, truly present to what's going on within, and to behold one another. May it be so. Will you please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, We Shall Be Known? Alyssa's going to lead us forward.